I've been interviewed on other people's podcasts over the past couple of weeks, and this one concept continues to come up, which is about having it all. Especially a great interview with Josh Trent on the Wellness and Wisdom podcast really goes into me unpacking and really deep diving into how I've been able to create a life that others see as having it all. And I want to be able to share with you a concept that I've been playing with, because I've been having a lot of guys coming to me wanting to be able to have help and guidance and really being able to unpack, well, what is it having it all? How do you create a life that it is that you really want to be able to have? And this concept that's been coming to me has been this $1 million made man. It's something that I'm thinking I really want to be able to share and maybe even turn into a course and to be able to help others guide and really serve them going into a process, a very pragmatic, actually useful, so that other men can have a very pragmatic and useful process so that you can be able to create a life where you have it all as well. And as I really started to unpack this and wanting to be able to see, well, how have I been able to get to this point in my life? And I'm very blessed, I'm very grateful for me being able to get here. And I don't think at all that I have all of the answers. That's definitely not the case. But I want to be able to share the lessons that I've been able to have through this experience so far. And so I can give you a shortcut for you being able to it. And one of the biggest concepts that really made it click for me was this freedom. One of the strongest virtues I have is freedom, and I probably have a bit of a spidey sense where if you have been following my stuff for a little while, you have a strong sense that you want freedom in your life as well. However, I think there's some nuance to unpack here before I go into the four key virtues, into really what is a made man, what I'm really calling at the moment the made man matrix. And the concept is the difference between freedom and Freiheit. So freedom is the outside world success that we're looking for. It's the freedom that we want from what our external world is able to give us. Because when we have the money, when we have the businesses, when we have the ability to do the things that we want to be able to do, then we can start to label that as freedom. However, the German word Freiheit is a difference between the freedom, finishing with the D-O-M, where Freiheit, F-R-E-H-I-T, however you spell Freiheit, is more to the actual concept of internal freedom. And this is something that was huge and profound for me, and why I want to be able to share this concept with you. Because yes, we can be working so hard, we can be doing all the things right to create this outside external freedom, but are we creating the internal freedom, the actual feeling that it is what we're really truly trying to get to as well? And that's the difference between building success but feeling unfulfilled or not peaceful, compared to being able to have it all, which includes that inner tranquility, that good feels that we're really looking for when we have that Freiheit as well. So for me, how I've gone about and how I've really been able to have a framework to work with, being able to create the life that I truly, really love, and being able to do the things and being able to be in this position where I can share this with you today, it comes down to these four key virtues. And for me, it really started to click in my mind when it was the case when I looked at my calendar and when I looked at my bank account. When I looked at those two different things, I saw this pattern coming up time and time again. Then as I started to go through, even through therapy, working with other coaches, with other mentors, going through programs and courses, trying to find what are my core values, what are the virtues, what are the principles that are nearest and dearest to me, and what's that truth that inside of me, it came down to these four, which is wisdom, wealth, health, and connection or love. Now, I've got a sense that they're quite strong values for you as well, but there can be some nuance. But I'm just going to speak from my position right now so you can pick up whatever it is that you want. So for me, the made man has these four elements as a part of that. And firstly, it comes with wisdom. It's being able to have a level of integrity, a level of honor, a level of discipline, and a level of mastery that is needed for us to be able to show up in this world to do what it is that we need to be able to do. And this really comes down to us being able to cultivate meaning in our lives. Without meaning, I feel like I would just be a fart in the wind. I would be aimless, and I would be weak, and I would be unuseful to society and to my loved ones. And when it comes to cultivating meaning, I go about it in 3 different ways. The first is I want to be able to cultivate my identity. I want to be able to be very clear on who it is that I am, and therefore I am able to actually build upon my self-esteem. Now, I think this is really important. I've spoken about in other episodes, but I really want to nail home here with you as well. Cultivating self-esteem, being able to have that true strength of identity that you are proud to be, you admire who it is that you are, comes from you being able to follow through with what it is that you say that you're going to follow through with. I myself am judging myself 24/7, 365, because I know when I say to myself, if I want to be able to do something, if I want to achieve something, if I'm going to actually follow through with something. Because if I say that I'm going to do something, let's say I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and then I'm going to go to the gym, but then I don't wake up at 5 a.m., I hit the snooze button, I don't go to the gym, that's a slippery slope, because I feel like that's going to then start creating the identity that is not going to be creating the person that I really want to be. Then when it comes to meaning making, after identity, there is purpose, which is what is my purpose? And not thinking too broad picture, if it kind of like a little bit flies over the top of your head where it's like, what is the purpose to life? I'm not saying that. I'm saying, what is your purpose right here, right now, in this chapter, in this season of your life? What is the North Star that helps guide you to getting for you to do what it is that you need to do on a day-by-day basis? Because then after identity, after purpose, I then want to make sure that I'm having integrity. I'm being integral with myself and everything I'm saying, thinking, and doing as well. And again, this comes back to this: are you actually following through? Are you being the person that you need to be able to be? And I use the word foolish for when myself and when others aren't being able to follow through and have that integrity in themselves. For me, foolishness is you knowing what it is that you need to be able to do, but you lack the strength of character to follow through with it. That is you being foolish. That is me being foolish when I say I know what I need to be able to do, but I don't follow through with it. I hit the snooze button. I don't go to the gym. I don't follow through with the things I am. I'm not showing up as the man that I need to be. Therefore, I'm lacking that integrity in myself, and I'm not going to be able to truly cultivate that meaning in my life. The next virtue that I want to be able to align in this made man matrix is wealth. And for wealth, it comes down to 3 key parts of it. The first is going to be, how can I make money? What is my money making machine at the end of the day for me to be able to live the life that I want, but then to be able to go deeper into the next 2 parts. And when it comes to the money making, you have to ask yourself, I have to ask myself, do I have a trusted, replicatable, duplicatable, predictable way for me to be able to earn money? I was not able to, let's say, sell my last company without those factors. I needed that. And then being able to then transition out of the company, then into this next stage, into this new model that I'm in, I went from 0 to $1 million run rate in just 63 days, without ads, without funnels, without a website, without call to actions, without any of that DM me below, none of that stuff whatsoever. I was able to do that so quickly because I had built the skill sets, I had built the character traits, I had the identity, and therefore I could follow through with it with integrity to easily make that happen. So once we have our money-making machine, we then need to be able to have our wealth-creating machine. There is a difference between having a business or a job that is just going to be able to create cash flow, which is very important. But then I want to be able to multiply my money. I want to create true wealth, and I want to be able to set myself up to have financial freedom. And that's what I was able to do at the end of last year. I was able to have what I defined as financial freedom, which was 200% of my ideal living expenses. And for me, it's the ideal living expenses as a family of 6, because I have 4 daughters, a wife, and myself as our family unit, coming from passive to semi-passive income. I don't have to work for money, but yet I still have this drive, this innate want to be able to grow and evolve. And so it goes from this cash producing machine to this wealth creation machine. And then once we make it, once we grow it, then I want to give it. I want to give it away. I want to be able to have very strong altruistic means in which being able to, I can help the world be a better place than the way that I found it. The third factor in the made man matrix is health. And for me, I want to be able to look, feel, and perform at my very best on a day-by-day level. And for this to happen, I need to be able to take care of the things such as how am I eating, how am I moving, what's my sleep like, stress, what are all those things that, yes, we can get into that nitty-gritty later on, but really, are you doing the things that you need to do so that you look the way that you want? Are you happy when you take your shirt off? Are you happy when you look at yourself in the mirror? What is it about for you about performing each and every day? And not just a physical performance, but mental performance as well. Do you actually have the energy, the vitality for you to be able to do what it is that you need to be able to do? If you're waking up and you're just like being a sloth and you're just like lacking energy, well, are you going to be able to follow through with the tactics, the strategies, all of that other stuff for you to be able to create the business you want, have the wealth? What about making love to your partner? What about you just being a friendly person that's good to society? You can't do that. Then the fourth factor in the made man matrix is connection. And there's three key parts to it. Firstly, I want to have connection. I want to have love for myself. And for me, this was probably the hardest out of all of the made man matrix. It was the love for self that was the one that I really struggled with the most. And it is key, it is absolutely vital to be able to cultivate this love for self and this appreciation, this gratefulness. And then once I have love for self, I can then expand this out, this connection. And I want to be able to have the tools, the skills, I want to be able to have the ways for me able to have true connection then with you, with other. So it goes from myself to then you. And then I want to be able to have that. So one, I can have great loving relationship with my wife. I want to be able to be an impeccable father and have deep, sincere connection with my 4 daughters. And then when it comes to my friends, my colleagues, I want to be able to have true, deep, loving, passionate relationships with those people as well. But then after love for me, after love for you, I want to be able to have love for us. And I'm really thinking about that on a cosmic level, really trying to think of absolutely everything, everyone that I can then be able to take care of, because I don't want to just think about myself and just take care of myself. I also don't want to just think about taking care of my family unit, or even maybe in the little bit broader of a community, and then it goes from community to cosmos, going even bigger again. So for me, when I think about this made man matrix, I'm developing this very strong, keen sense of meaning. I then am able to have this wealth machine. I'm then having to have health for me to show up the best way. And then I'm able to have this strong connection with myself, with you, with us. That for me is how we start to have this strong foundational framework for a man to be able to show up the way that he needs to be able to show up so that he feels fulfilled, so that he is able to be the best person in society to be able to serve others. Because I truly believe that we're here to be able to serve us. Because for so much of my life, I was there taking care of myself. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted success for me. But what was so interesting, what was really lovely to be perfectly honest, was once I did that, I immediately was able to turn my attention and stop being this selfish prick, to be perfectly honest, and then I could give to the rest of the world, and why I wanted to share this with you. So if you're interested in the $1 million made man, I would love to be able to hear from you. If that's something that you would love to be able to be diving into, a little bit interested, me to be able to help you through, get in touch with me in some way. The easiest way would be commenting below. If you're listening to me on the podcast right now, leave a review or hit me up on Instagram or put a note in a carrier pigeon and send it my way, some way, shape or form. Let me know, because I'd love to be able to dive into this with you and be able to truly unpack what is the processes, what are the steps, what are the principles, what's the way for you, for me to go from where we are right now to where we want to be able to go, to truly creating a fulfilled, meaningful life at the end of the day. And as always, thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.